I have figured out how to print and cut an entire 8.5 by 11 sticker sheet. And that is exactly what we are going to do today. Most of you who are familiar with probably print and cut settings on Cricut know that you have to have registration marks and it never lets you use the entire sheet of paper. For a standard 8.5 by 11 inch sticker paper, you're only actually gonna get 7.44 by 9.62 inches of actual working space. That's still lots of leftover paper. And as someone who likes to try and be eco-conscious and eliminate as much waste as possible, I wondered, is there a way that I could print and cut more stickers? Now, looking online, I noticed that there were some people who would kind of create their sticker sheets and then create a separate vector cutting shape that they then would import into Cricut as a way of kind of bypassing the print and cut method. And it works, but it's a little time consuming. Many people like me like to create their stickers in Procreate and not use any vector settings at all. Well, last year, Cricut added some additional paper sizes to its print and cut, including the tabloid size, which is 11 by 17. And in that, you can actually print a full 8.5 by 11 inch piece of artwork. In fact, you can print bigger. So I got to thinking, how would I fix this if it was an issue on my laser? I would make a jig. And that is exactly what we are going to do today. We are going to create a jig for the Cricut so that it can print an entire sheet of stickers. And I'm going to show you how. First, let's start over in Procreate. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually set up the sticker sheet that we're going to then put into Cricut. Now, you're going to do this with pretty much any sticker design that you do. And I'm going to show you how I set the sheet up. Now, this document is the sticker that I'm going to make multiple copies of. Design that I did, last night because I'm easily distracted by lasers and extruders. So this is a small document. I think this is like 4 by, roughly 4 by 1. So this is 3.75 by 1 inches. So the first thing you want to do is actually change your canvas size to 8 by 10.5 inches. You're going to see it's going to enlarge the canvas. And it doesn't necessarily matter where the canvas is in relation to the art because you're going to move this around anyway. So, but you want 8 by 10.5. This is because when you go to print the your sticker sheet, you're going to want to leave about a 1/4 inch border all the way around. Otherwise, the printer will not necessarily go to the edge. So you want to give yourself just a little bit of room. This might be something you have to play with, but for my printer, 8 by 10.5 seem to be just fine. I'm going to say done, and this is going to resize my canvas. So this is the canvas size that I need at the moment. We're actually going to do 2 resizes, and I'll show you why. So first things first, I'm going to take my little sticker that I have here, and I am just going to go ahead and flatten it just to make my life easier, because again, this is a duplicate, so not a big deal. I'm going to fill my sticker sheet with the sticker. So I'm going to rotate it, and I'm just going to pretty much snap it into place up here. And then I'm going to duplicate it, bring it over, repeat. And then to make life a little bit easier, I'm going to do this, but with a couple more, taking advantage of magnetics. Just so that I know it, kind of snaps into place. There. So I can actually get 9 in a row and pretty close. There we go. All right. So now I've got this sheet that fits pretty well. And just because I like to be one of those people that likes things centered, I'm going to just double center it as well. Okay. So this sheet is my sheet of stickers that I'm going to then send to Cricut. But to get it to print right, we need to do one more thing. And that is it again. This time, we're going to resize it to 8.5 by 11. And the reasoning for this is because your standard letter size paper is, of course, 8.5 by 11. So I'm gonna once more make sure this is kind of center. So this is what we want printed out of our printer. But we need to get Cricut to recognize this extra space, because when you would go in to port this into Cricut space, it likes to eliminate anything that's not there. So what we need to do is create a couple of registration marks. So what you want to do is just go up into the corner and honestly just kind of create a little rectangle. It doesn't have to be anything big. And fill it. Now I got a couple of good squares in the corners. They don't have to be anything big or important, and they actually won't even technically print when you go to send the document. Now this is done, so I am going to send it. All right. Now we're going to go over to the Cricut, and I'll show you how I turn this into a near full-size sheet of stickers. So as you can see, it loads pretty well, and it's got these little corners, so it actually does see this. So we're gonna load it. Most of the time you just pick complex. I don't think it matters a whole lot, but this is what I choose. So now we've got it, and you'll see that it sees these little corners. It's thinking, okay, you want all of this, and that's exactly what I want. So this is gonna be a print then cut image, and I'm gonna take a moment, save it. I tend to leave it the name of my image, and then I'm going to upload. So I'm going to add the one I just added. You can see I've played around with this a couple times. But I'm going to upload this one. I'm going to add it to the canvas. Now, of course, it's going to come in way bigger than it should be. I have no idea why Cricut does that, but it's an easy fix, because all you got to do is you go up into your height adjustment. You know that this paper is 11 inches tall, and suddenly it's 8.4999 to 11 inches. You'll notice over here it's not freaking out. Now that's interesting. Why is it not freaking out? Well, that's because I have gone in to my settings, and in load type, I have told it that my mat is 12 by 24 and that I am using a tabloid sheet for my print then cut size. I actually technically won't be printing on 11 by 17. I'm going to be printing on 11 by 15, but that's okay, because you won't actually need the couple extra inches, and I'll show you why. So anyway, so I click done. So this is ready to go and be printed, almost. First thing we're doing is a template. So it is going to want to print this, but it's only going to print the squares, and I need it to actually cut the entire piece out. So before we actually send the sticker sheet, we're going to add a shape. Nothing exciting, simple rectangle. Go in here, it's with an 8.5 and a height by 11. Ta-da! And then I believe this is set to, 0.5. So we're just going to put this at 0.5. And I'm going to put it underneath so you can see it. So these are both lined up perfectly. Exactly what I want. So what you're going to do is you're going to attach these together so that they will cut together. So we're going to go to Make. And you'll see it's given me this 11 by 17 sheet, and it's got this perfectly aligned here, a little bit of edges and such. What you'll want to do, and I do this every time, is I just kind of drag it up to the corner and it snaps into this space. And that just kind of maximizes, I think, it being at the absolute top. Now, remember how I said I'm going to actually put an 11 by 15 inch paper in here? You'll probably wondering, well, what about these registration marks? These are outside of the 15 marker. Well, this appears to be a bug in Cricut, because when you print it out, it actually is going to pop up here. We're going to hit continue, and we are going to send this to my printer. And I'm going to send it to my regular Canon Pro printer. It doesn't need any bleed. I don't want it to bleed. System dialog, and then I'm going to click print. So as you can see, it printed just like I told you guys it would. It did not actually go all the way to the bottom of the page. In fact, it only went down about 13 inches, give or take. So this printed pretty well. This is watercolor paper. There's a little bit of an ink smudge that happened during the printing, but that's okay because this is just a template. I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to attach this, you know, all standard style to my big 12 by 24 mat. So we're on there. And don't worry, I will show you after doing this that you don't actually have to always do your stickers on a 12 by 24 mat. In fact, I'll be able to transfer this template over to a standard 12 by 12 inch mat. But I just have to do it on this one first so that I don't have any problems. So I'm gonna load this into the Cricut machine. So as you can see, it cut pretty well. In fact, I can pull this up with really good ease. So what we've effectively created at this point is a jig with the registration marks that's going to fit any 8.5 by 11 inch sheet that we have without having to waste. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get this off, and I'm actually going to put it on a smaller mat to show that this works even that way. And now we have a jig and we are ready to go. So now we're back in Cricut, and all we really need to do at this point is to just backtrack a little bit. And yes, I could have just deleted the square, but oh well. And we now just have the print then cut document that we want to do. So again, when we go to make, it's going to show us our board. And again, I always just kind of pull. It takes a minute, it thinks, and it snaps it into place to this corner, which is right where we have it. So we're going to click continue. But here's where things are going to be a little different. I am going to tell it that I've already printed. Instead, I'm going to go over and I'm just going to use the preview app, and I'm going to open up the sticker sheet that I made. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to send this to the print. And there's a couple settings you want to do. For one thing, you obviously set it to your right printer, and you're going to leave it at 8.5 by 11 inches. But what you're actually going to do is you're going to hit scale, and you're going to make sure this is set to 100%. And as you can see, the little registration marks that we had set up disappear. Don't worry about it. That's okay. They disappeared because most of the time when you set something to 100%, you're going to lose about 1/4 inch on every side. That's part of the reason why we chose to limit where we're putting the stickers to that 8 by 10.5 area. Now, every printer is a little different. This is what works for my Canon Pro on a Mac computer. I'm going to load the printer with the sticker paper that I'm going to use, and I'm going to send it to print, and then I'll show you where we go from here. All right, so now we have this sheet. That's exactly what the print then cut Cricut is going to be looking for. Only it's thinking that it's going to be printing it off of a tabloid sheet. And what I'm going to do is just load it in. I usually double check and make sure that I've got it lined up correctly the way it looks on the print then cut page. And then I'm just going to line it up so that it fits exactly in this hole. And see, just like before, it registers the registration marks. All right, we're all done. Let's pop this out and look. As you can see, those little black registration marks are right in the corner. So now it's just a matter of getting this off. And there you have it. What did I tell you guys? An entire sheet of stickers with so much less waste. Now, to make the process a little bit easier, I went ahead and created a master Procreate document that you can drop your stickers in and, you know, have it all lined up so you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to remember the size that you need the stickers to be so that they don't, you know, get cut off in the printer. I also will include a PNG file of a blank template that you can use to create the Cricut jig, because it did occur to me after doing all of this that I really didn't need it to cut out all of those stickers. I could have just put, you know, a blank shape in the middle and had it cut it out, and, you know, problem solved. But anyway, I hope this was, you know, a big help for you guys. If you like this video, like this content, please be sure to give me a like. And if you want more of this, hit the subscribe button. I look forward to making more videos like this in the future. Bye.